couple of times the directors weren't available, so I went out and started. So I really just started from, I say this to kids today coming in, they're not prepared to sweep the floor and make the coffee. They want to come in at the top level, but you can't. You have to learn the ropes from the ground up.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I started directing little jobs, and it was a very male chauvinistic world where I was continually told that women don't belong in control rooms and you'll never be able to do what you want to do. And so the day that I became in charge of commercial production was actually kind of a pretty cool moment because, yes, you can do those things and be a girl.
Yeah.
And so I've been running it and in charge of that operation since 98. And back in 98, it was hard because I actually wasn't very good at it. And so it's easy to let your ego get involved. You're pretending that you're good, kind of. And so it's a bit of a struggle because you're always trying to prove yourself and thinking, God, am I good at this or not? Or am I pulling this off or am I not? Am I doing the right thing by the clients? Is this the best that they could possibly get? And I think the difference is now when I look at the reel that we just cut this week is this like finally you don't have to worry about it because you're good at what you do. And so...
And you know what looks good now.
And you know how to make a decent ad, and you know that you've been making ads. I've been making Grand Prix Mazda ads for 20 years, so that's the greatest compliment to me. Is that they've stayed in partnership and friendship with me, and it's like Titan Garages, it's like Todd's Hi-Fi, it's like all the great friends that I've made are still with me, and that's the biggest compliment that anyone could possibly pay to what I do.
Yeah, and isn't it funny how it's as simple as that? It actually turns out through all this TV and radio buzzword I was just talking about, it just really comes back to being a normal person without ego and starting a relationship. Like how many times my mum would go, ring Jenny, like just because she's just one of us, ring Jenny and sort it out. It's not like that person or it's actually
I don't know. It just
and you're that person to a whole bunch of companies.
It comes down to if you've got good morals and you're honest and you've got respect and genuine likeness for who you're working with, everything should just come naturally, really. But
which you would only get by sweeping the floor.
Well, you do, and you do have to start at the bottom and work your way up. But the thing is, I pick and choose who works with me as well because I want to have fun when I go to work. I don't want to have some person who's grumpy or not in a good mood or we're not doing it their way or whatever. The team that I choose are all amazing at what they do and we just have a lot of fun. So you're working, but you're actually really enjoying it. And I'm kind of lucky too because, the management are so supportive of me. They let me do my thing and I don't get micromanaged, which is kind of why I'm still there. I think if I was to be hounded by management or I don't think I'd be at Channel 9 still, So I'm lucky on all levels as far as that goes.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you because I don't really know what I can't ask you because you don't. It's all career based stuff. So, but I wonder who is above you. Like what sort of where did they come from? That would be my.
Julie, there's plenty of people way above me.
Like shareholder sort of types and CEOs from other companies who come in to manage this particular station, then they're gone again. But I wonder, or do they sweep the floor one day and get to the top?
No, well, there's a whole sales team that I'm sort of, I'm our department's part of is linked to the sales department. So there's a sales director and there's 20 odd staff in the sales team, and then really it's the managing director who's one of the most amazing women that I've probably had the pleasure to be mates with and have the respect for as a managing director. And Kylie Blucher is right up there in my opinion of someone who's really made it to the top and still an awesome person.
Right.
So, like I say, I mean, I'm just lucky. I'm lucky to have the job I've got because you think about it, on Mount Cootha, there's only really, there might be one of me at Channel 7. There certainly isn't at Channel 10. So in all of Brisbane, there's probably only 2 jobs like mine.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Where I can actually...
And think of all the kids in uni now doing journalism.
I know, and they all want to get a job. It's like, but the thing is that I probably could have gone to an agency. I probably could have gone somewhere else, but to be able to write, produce and direct something and see it from concept to completion is something that you can't go and do maybe at an agency, because they would have their own producer, their own art director, their own director. You know what I mean? So for what
and all that, and those big $200,000 budgets might ruin you, like your own point of view about what's right and wrong.
Well, I know. I think I'm just too. I don't think I could go to somewhere like that now, because I am too. That is my expertise to do all of those roles, like you know, and that's why I've been in the job for as long as I have, because you think about it, every single client's different, every product's different, every way you shoot something's different. And you get to be in the edit suite, out at meetings, out on the road, on location shoots, you know, interstate and whatever. You know, I've done a lot of work down in Sydney as well, and been on a shoot down in Melbourne recently. And so it's the variety of what you get to do and the most amazing bunch of people that you get to meet is just cool, you know? So,
okay.
So,
yeah. Here's a real dummy question. What about Boris? What about Agro?
What about him?
Well, I don't know.
He's Channel 7.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
really?
Yeah. Agro's Channel 7.
Oh, what about Boris then?
I
swear he was at...
We had Humphrey B. Bear, I think.
You did too?
Yeah.
But remember Boris the Black Knight? That might have been before your time.
I don't know. I don't recall that.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
I'm pretty sure he was Channel 9 because as a kid...
yeah, I don't know him.
I don't know, sorry.
Yeah. That was before me.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
Yeah.
You love surfing?
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
You bet. There's
what's your latest board?
My latest board is a Donald Takayama custom made board.
Takayama.
In fact, as we speak, I had to get 2 of those made because the first one that was made is hanging out on my deck there as a light fitting as we speak.
Yeah.
Because that got snapped off the roof racks on Stradbroke Island.
Yeah.
Which was
great surf stories.
Which was rather heartbreaking at the time because we heard it snap and I said, "That's not my board, is it?" And then I looked on the ground and there it was. And so my electrician, God bless him, has turned it into the most amazing light fitting.
I would argue that's actually a great thing.
Well, it kind of is.
Great story, and now look at it, it's hanging from the roof.
Yeah. And so we got another one made, and I was going to change the colour, but I thought, why should I? Because I just love black and white, so it's black and white checks. And anyway,
did you get McTavish boards?
Well, no, I've got a McTavish. So in between getting my new replacement Takayama board made, I was surfing on my old McTavish 8-ball, which is 8'2". They're all 8'2". So I've got the McTavish is hanging up in the shed. The new Takayama is what I'm riding now, which some weapon in the surf about a month ago dinged on the side. I couldn't believe it. So I did give him a slight serve when that happened. Yeah. And but anyway, so I've still got my original board that when we were growing up in the surf club. So back in the day in Newcastle, we're all from sort of involved in Nobby Surf Club. And which is where the historic lighthouse is in Newcastle, and Dad's a life member there, and my mum and Dad went there as young kids, and last year I had the pleasure to make their 100-year historic video, or their 90-year, historic video, so all these old memories were coming back. But I was one of the first snipperettes down there in the surf club. And
did you live far from the...
No, well, we lived out in the burbs, which seemed like forever to get to the beach, but it was probably only 15 minutes now when we do the drive now. But every Sunday we go to the Nippers, and I started surfing on when we'd go to interstate or inter-club surf carnivals. While all my brothers were competing, I'd take out one of the rescue boards, and I learnt to surf on one of those. I'd be standing up surfing on one of those boards, and Dad's mates used to say, "For God's sake, buy her a bloody surfboard." And so Dad, one Christmas, Sam Egan made my first board, and that's the red one with the lightning bolt, which is 6'3".
Sam Egan,
and it's hanging up on the garage still. So
what? Matt Egan's dad? No,
Luke Egan's
Luke
dad.
Egan's dad.
Yeah. He made my first board, and I had a few from the Peter McCabe trade winds days. He was quite famous in Newcastle too. Actually, he made me the most awesome skateboard out of fiberglass. The deck, and I just wish I had it still because, growing up we used to compete in skateboard competitions and yo-yo competitions, and well, I've got three. I've got 5 brothers altogether, I've got 3 brothers to my mum and dad, and then we lost my mum when I was 12. She was killed in a car crash, and so yeah, that's another story. But anyway, we lost her, and my dad remarried when I was 19, and they had 2 boys. So I guess even though they're half brothers, they're my brothers.
Yeah.
We're all as far as I'm concerned, I've got 5 brothers.
Yeah.
So and they're all amazing. So I'm probably old enough to be my youngest brother's mum, but there's no generation gap. They're all just very cool boys, all in their own right. So,
Hey,
yeah.
when you first started Nippers, how old were you there?
I would have been about 14, maybe.
Okay.
13, 14.
Okay, so you know.
Actually, no, that's not actually true because that's not true at all, Drew. Sorry, because we lost my mum when I was 12. So yeah, I was probably maybe 10 years old.
True, right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
I
Stayed in the club
I don't know
all
what.
through those times.
Yeah, we stayed in the club, and I still every time I'm home, I still go to Nobby's, and Dad's
Yeah.
a life member, and that's Dad's passion. He's so passionate about that place,
Right.
and I am too. And it's just it's lovely to go there, and they remember our family and stuff, and especially
I
after
could imagine this, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm about to get to, especially after
that
tragedy,
yeah.
right?
Without the surf club, I honestly don't think our family would have gotten through that time.
Yeah. You're in a team, right? So you're in a team, and I could imagine them, even subliminally, you probably may not even acknowledge it. People you didn't even know, they would have all known your story there, and just been like some sort of support because because you're in a team environment, you're in that club.
And it's not like the school friends, it was almost good to have a different set of family friends outside that school environment and where you lived environment, because the surf club environment, people came from all different suburbs. So I just know that without the support of all those families, and after all that happened, I just became a naughty, rebellious. I actually didn't care about anything. I just really didn't care. Actually, I don't have any memory of 2 years of high school. You talk to Shelley, my best mate. She, I remember saying that. No, it's just, I guess that's how your body protects yourself. It just goes into blockout mode. Yeah. And I actually don't remember, second and third form at school.
Right.
And then I went from like straight A's down to D's type of thing, and I was actually really bumming out.
I couldn't even imagine, but I could imagine losing even to this day, right? You want to make sure you're doing something good so your dad will be impressed. Yeah,
you bet.
Exactly.
Yep.
So imagine, I'm saying this out loud, but
yeah.
I'm not asking you, but imagine losing one of those people at that key time. Look, I would argue, out of that horrible tragedy, it's actually created a great person, and you had to dig deep, and there was some really crazy times, but it's actually created this great person, and yeah.
I know it's.
We've never spoken about this.
No, I know, and it's no, we can't, because you and I are more interested in surfing and all the.
But even still,
it's just, but to be, I don't know. I'm the only girl. I've got 5 brothers. To lose your mum, and
how does anyone talk to you about it?
Well,
that's the start.
The thing is that she was an amazing woman in her own right, and for people to remember her through me is the greatest privilege. Like, she would never be dead while you're alive. Like, I can't tell you. It brings tears to my eyes now to for people to not forget her is good.
Were you the youngest of these boys?
I'm actually the eldest.
The eldest?
So I knew her the best. So when I was growing up, Dad, back then, like, Mum didn't work. She was a full-time mum. Wow. And our family is so heavily into sport, and my mum was heavily, and Dad's a footy player. Yeah. And Mum was a stay-at-home mum, and Dad went off to work. So to me, he was the man. I was so close to her because he was the man that just happened to be at the dinner table. You almost didn't know him in a way. Yeah. And I didn't get to know him till she died, to be honest with you, as well as I know him now. But and he was only 35 years old, and he's got kids. He's got a 12-year-old, he's got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, 6-year-old.